It's one thing to be a great shooter, it's another to be able to get open with an entire team focusing on you because you're such a great shooter. So let's break down how Steph consistently gets open shots and how you can apply it to your game. So first is just the unpredictability he plays with off of the ball. Notice how frequently and how drastically he's changing speeds and he's searching for open space. He'll go from standing to a full-out sprint in absolutely no time. And that catches this now relaxed defender off guard, and he has all the advantage he needs to get space for a jumper. It even comes down to the rhythm of his footwork. Watch here how he goes halfway through a step to throw off the defender's timing. It's 1, 2, 3, go. It's just constant unpredictability. And he pairs this shift of gears with great angles. Notice how he walks down Holiday to get the angle for the screen. Now it's much tougher for him to get above and over that screen. And if they go under, they're deeper in, making it easier for Steph to pop back. And what this also does is actually takes a bit more time, in a good way. It allows more time for that screener to actually get in position to set the screen, which a lot of younger players don't let happen just out of impatience. And it's also impressive how good Curry is at sprinting in a curved angle. This makes it much easier for him to be in these deeper positions and get out and around that screen, especially because his defender probably won't be as good at this quality. This also helps him come very tight to that screen and leave little to no space for his defender to slip through. Notice how he's never fazed by contact here, and he doesn't let his defender push him off of his line. In fact, he's actually the one that creates the contact most times, and this does two things very well. Number one, it creates separation before using the screen. Watch how he throws this little jab before he goes, and notice the space he now has from his defender. This gets him a head start, and that's all he needs to get open from that screen. Now it's nothing violent, but he can get pretty forceful with his arms, sending that defender backwards and forcing them to catch up rather than stay with him. And number two, he'll essentially push them into the path of the screen. Watch here how he pushes Murray down a bit, causing him to run right into that screen. Technically a foul, maybe, but are any of the refs going to call this, let alone look at it? Probably not. Also, Steph simply never stops moving. Now, it's smart movement, but it's constant. Provided that you're not just sprinting around for the hell of it, the more you move intelligently, chances are you're going to eventually create some chaos in the defense, especially when you have the gravity that Steph does. Now, related to that, here's another secret he uses. In a standard defensive setup, when you're more than one pass away from the ball, you're in more of a help position, right? You're not face guarding that player. So Steph eats these plays up. He gets his defender a few feet away from him by running away from the ball or being on the other side of the court. And now look at the separation he has. He has an advantage to work with. So the defender's now chasing him, which makes it easier for him to find a shot. So when it may seem like you're out of the play because you're on the other side of the court, you may be in a really good position to find an open shot. Finally, he takes advantage of every single easy opportunity that most players don't. Number one is just setting screens. As Steph sets this, two defenders go with his teammate most times. What does that do? It gets Steph all the space he needs. It's really a beauty to watch Steph do this so frequently. Defenders miscommunicate so often in these situations, and it's almost unstoppable even if they communicate perfectly.
Curry, quick in Draymond's minutes, because I think it's going to be first of 5 or 6 minutes at a time. Yeah, he get his win back. Steph Curry.
Number two is off of offensive rebounds. What happens after an offensive rebound? The defense is scrambled, there's open space everywhere because everyone is standing ball watching. Sounds like a perfect opportunity, and he takes advantage.
Ty's able to break up the lob attempt.
And finally, after passing the ball. This is yet another situation when defenders just fall asleep. Why be on high alert right after your man passes the ball? Well, that's probably why. He does this in two ways. Number one is quickly relocating, like right here. He knows that defenders will likely fall right asleep and immediately pops out for it. But sometimes this may not work. He's a little bit more patient, but he has an advantage. Notice all the space he has right here. So he'll carry this into a search for space and will eventually get open. And that's about it. It's really not that difficult. He's just mastered the basics, and more importantly, he always applies them. So give some of these a shot and let me know how they work out for you. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ByAnyMeansBasketball for a lot more. Thanks for tuning in.